Merry me, everyone. In the last video, I said that this video was going to be on how to cleanse, consecrate, and charge your altar tools or anything that you're going to use for magical purposes. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is just going quickly over some really easy ways that you can do this, and it won't be so overwhelming that you won't know like what to do. This is how I started out, and actually some of these I still use. So let's get started. So as far as cleansing, and before I even start, as you all know, I have my guide. I tell you, if it's left up to me, nobody will have a clue what I'm talking about, because I'll start talking about cats or something. So it's better to have a guide. So as far as cleansing, when cleansing an object, what you're doing is you're really just getting rid of any energy that is in that object, cleansing it of its, energetic vibrations, and then adding your own. And it's really important, because if you think about it, even candles, when they're made, they're handled by people, then they get packaged, then they get shipped, then they go in the store, and then they get handled by more people. Everything holds energy. So it's really important to cleanse your object before you use it. That way you can put your own energy and your own purpose into it. So let me just go to my guide, because it's my handy dandy thing. Excuse me. Cleansing disassociates items with their past vibrations. You want to wipe the vibrational slate clean to attune it with your own energies. There are several ways to cleanse an object. Number one is to use incense. Sage is the best. It's very cleansing. So I always use sage to cleanse my objects. So I will just throw that recommendation out there. There are other ones that you can use. I'm making another video. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the next video that's going to be going over incense and their properties, so that way you kind of know what each one is good for and what you can use it for. So like I said, you can use a sage incense, and what you do is you take your object and you run it through the incense smoke, and that cleanses it. You can bury it in the earth for a while. I mean, it could be anywhere from a day to a few days, or you would bury it in a bowl that either has salt or dirt in the bowl, and then you would put it in the earth. The next way is to either put it in salt water or sprinkle it with salt water. And the last way is through heat or flame. Some people actually like to put their things in the flame, while other people like to just run it over the flame. And I will say, crystals, gemstones, some of them are very sensitive to heat, and some of them are very sensitive to water. Some stones actually dissolve in water. So for me, as far as crystals, gemstones, anything like that goes, sage, it really is the safest route to go with that. I'm sorry, I got distracted because I can hear my cats having a party out there. So there's also the besom, which is the broom. It's the ritual broom, and you use that to sweep negativity out of an area. Really good you can use it in your sacred space, or you can even use it in your home if you want to get rid of any negative energy. And how you would do this is you would take your besom and you'll go around your home, and you can say something. This is what I say. I'm just going to give you my example of what I say. And then, and there's Petey. And I'm going to give you an example of what I say. And you can choose to use what I say, or you can use your own. Each way is fine. So I say, sweep, sweep with this broom, all bad out of this room. Sweep, sweep, all good in, the bad to never return again. So I say this as I'm sweeping, and I imagine in my head that all the negativity is being swept right out of my space, whether it be in my ritual space, my sacred space, or in my home. So It's a really good thing to do even every once in a while because, sometimes, the home can kind of get stagnant, and it's good to kind of just get that cleansing in there and get rid of all that negativity and that stagnant energy, and just, you feel the difference when you're done. So like I said, with the stones, you want to be careful because stones are very sensitive to water, some of them, and then some are very sensitive to heat. So the best way to cleanse a stone is through the incense smoke. I know we went over yesterday the altar tools. It is good to use the charcoal discs because if you plan on cleansing multiple objects, it lasts the longest. So I know the cones are fantastic. You can always use the cones, or you can use the incense sticks. But as far as cleansing, the charcoal, if you put the loose sage on the burning charcoal, it creates quite a bit of smoke, and it's perfect for cleansing. Let's see. Also, do not cleanse metal in salt water because it will make the metal rust. So you can bury the metal, like let's say if it's your athame, you can bury that in the earth. You can use the incense smoke. Just make sure not to submerge it and keep it in salt water because the metal will rust. And always use caution when using fire. When you're using the fire method to cleanse, make sure you don't burn yourself or accidentally set something on fire. And it almost seems like common sense, but believe it, all it takes is a candle tipping over on the other side of your altar. And I mean, if you have a flammable, altar cloth, just be super careful. As far as consecrating an object is making it sacred. And some ways to consecrate an item are simply say a prayer and dedicate the use of the tools to the gods and the goddesses. If you choose to cleanse with your incense, what you would say to cleanse and consecrate at the same time, if you choose the incense method, you would say, I purify and consecrate you with the power of the element of air. And that would cleanse and consecrate your item. And, you can either give it a purpose of, we'll go over, that's the charging part. But that cleansing consecrates at the same time when you do this little, saying with it. If you choose to cleanse with the salt water, or you can even cleanse with running water as well, you would say, I purify and consecrate you with the power of the element of water. And if you choose to cleanse with it, burying in the earth, you would say, I purify and consecrate you with the power of the element of earth. And if you choose to cleanse with the candle flame, you can say, I purify and consecrate you with the power of the element of fire. Some people do choose to cleanse and consecrate with all four elements. And what you can do is you can actually make like a little ritual. And you can use all four elements and you pass it through each of the elements. Just be careful with like the stones and the crystals, as I said. Once an item is consecrated, it is considered sacred and must be treated as such. And so the next one is charging of an item. Charging is something, and you're empowering it with energy. You can simply just charge it with positive energy, or you can charge it with a purpose. And so the energies that you're aligning it with is with a specific purpose. Charging requires raising energy and then directing it into the object. There are a few different ways that you can do this. The first way is to rub candles with oil repeatedly. Now, if you have a specific purpose in mind, let's say if you're going to charge a candle for a spell, let's say if it's a love spell, you would take a red candle or a pink candle, or white if you don't want, like sometimes it's easier because white represents all colors. We did go through that last video. And you would take like rose oil and you would rub rose oil into the, pink, red, or white candle repeatedly. And that would charge it with the energy. And now you have given it a purpose. You can dance, chant, or meditate. And once you have raised up that energy, you would then direct it into the object in which you want to charge. You can put the object out in the sun for the day and charge it with solar power, or you can leave it out all night in the full moon. It has to be a full moon to charge it with lunar power. You can also lay the object on a healthy crystal for a few days, and that object will then absorb the energy from the crystal. So those are the ways that you can charge the item. And I will go into in future videos as far as crystals. Crystals have specific properties as well that you can use for different things. Incense, crystals and stones, and oils. They each have specific properties that you can use for different things. I will make a video regarding each one. There are a lot of incenses. I'm not going to do all of them because, I mean, that would just, I'm pretty sure, take days. There are really so many herbs and so many things like that. But I will definitely go over the most popular ones, but I'm going to break it down into 2 videos because there are so many. So I'm probably going to do incenses, letters A through M, break that in half. You know, like I'll do A through M on one video, and then I will do N through Z. That would kind of break it in half. That way it's not all of them crammed into one video. There are some incenses that have quite a few different properties, and so I don't want to like speak fast and you know, so you don't get the information or anything like that. I want to make sure that, you know, I take my time with it. And then I can go into oils, and then I can go into crystals. I will say, though, I'm going to point out on this video, I have a few things that I'd like to show you that I think would be a great resource guide as far as herbs go. And herbs can be used as incense as well. This book is fantastic, which it looks backwards on here, but it's Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And I mean, it is really a great resource as far as, you know, it gives like a little illustration on what they look like. And this one's clover. And for instance, it has like its folk names on, you know, what else it would be called. And then you have, you know, the gender, the planet, the element, the deity, magical uses. And even on some of them, they have ritual uses, you know, what they were used for. This book is fantastic. I love this book. I'm always in this book. So it's definitely a great buy. And then we have, this is another one that I picked up that I think is fantastic. This is the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Healing Remedies. This is fantastic because it gives you over 1,000 natural remedies for different things. For instance, I'm just going to randomly open to a page. And we have dandelion leaf. And let's see, the properties is it's a powerful diuretic, and it's nourishing, and you can use it for tea, and which is good for water retention and edema and swollen ankles. And you can use it for circulatory problems. So I mean, like, it gives you a guide of what these herbs are good for as far as holistic healing, which I think is fantastic. So this is the Illustrated Encyclopedia of Healing Remedies. It's by C. Norman Shealy, and that's S-H-E-A-L-Y. And this is Scott Cunningham's book, Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. Now, as far as stones go, I have this one here. This is just a small little pocket genius of rocks and minerals, and it's facts at your fingertips, and it has what the stones look like, and it has, you know, some information on it. And I mean, it's a good little handy dandy guide. But my favorite one is the Crystal Bible, and it's by Judy Hall, and this is absolutely fantastic. It has it has all the information as far as the different colors. Like, you can have one stone that may have, you know, a variety of colors, and it has different like healing properties and the properties of each stone. And I think this is a fantastic book. So this is the Crystal Bible by Judy Hall, and it says A Definitive Guide to Crystals. It's definitely a good reference guide to have. So this is actually a short video, so I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And my cat is trying to bust through the room like the Kool-Aid man. So I better go tend to her because, you know, the princess is getting feisty because the servant isn't out there. So I will talk to you all later for the next video. We will go over incense. And hope you have a great night. Blessed be.